Welcome to My Healing is Your Healing, a podcast for the woman who is ready to stop performing and reclaim her voice. I'm your host, Celeste, and around here, we don't do surface level. We go deep. Each week, we'll explore concepts like self-discovery, radical honesty, and the kind of healing that rewrites your story from the inside out. This is a space for truth-telling, for remembering who you are, and for coming home to yourself, louder, braver, and more radiant than ever. So come as you are, and let's do this together. Let's begin. Welcome back to My Healing is Your Healing. I'm your host, Celeste. And today I want to talk about something that so many women quietly beat themselves up for, but almost no one explains in a way that actually makes sense. This is the gap between knowing better and doing differently. You know exactly what I mean. You understand your patterns, you've read all the books, you've listened to the podcasts, obviously. You've done the therapy, you can articulate what's happening in your mind and your relationships and your reactions. You can explain why you get triggered, why you overthink things, why you're freezing, why you people please, and why you pull back or spiral. And yet, when it actually matters, you still react, or you panic, or you override yourself. You still don't trust your instincts when you're in the moment. And that is when shame starts to creep in. You start asking yourself questions like, why am I still doing this if I know better? What is wrong with me? Why can't I just apply what I've learned? Why don't I trust myself yet? Let me say this clearly, right at the beginning. The answer is you're not weak. It's not that you're broken. It's not that you're failing at healing. The reason you don't trust yourself yet is not a mindset issue. It is a nervous system issue. And that distinction matters more than about anything else that we talk about this month. We live in a culture that loves cognitive solutions. Just reframe it. Think positive. Choose differently, trust yourself, and then move on. How many times have you heard that advice? Maybe you've even said it to yourself. I know better, so I should do better. But self-trust does not live in your thoughts alone. It lives in your body. And you cannot think your way into feeling safe with yourself. Self-trust is not something that you just get to decide. It's something that your nervous system learns. And you build self-trust the same way that you build trust with another person. Not through insight alone, but through consistency and follow-through and felt safety over time. You don't trust someone just because they tell you that they're trustworthy, right? You trust them because they show up every time when they say they will, because they keep their word and their actions match their promises. And over time, your body relaxes around them, and your nervous system works the exact same way with self-trust. Your nervous system's job is simple and relentless. It predicts safety, it avoids threat, and it repeats what's familiar. Not what's best or logical, but what is familiar. So if your body doesn't trust you yet, it's not because it's malfunctioning, it's just because it's been paying attention. If historically you've overridden your own needs or ignored your intuition, talked yourself out of your feelings, stayed when you wanted to leave, said yes when your intuition said no, or pushed through when you needed rest, your nervous system learned something very specific. I am not safe with myself. Not consciously, but it's just through repetition. You continue to tell yourself, I'm not trustworthy. And now, even though your mind knows better, your body hasn't caught up yet. And that is not a failure, it is just conditioning. And the moment that you start to understand that, everything is going to start to shift. So let's talk honestly about why your nervous system pulls back, even when your mind is ready to move forward. Why does your body hesitate or freeze or second guess you, even when you genuinely want to change? Well, the first reason is inconsistent follow-through. This one is a little tender, so I want to say this carefully. If you tell yourself you are going to do something and then you don't, your nervous system learns something very simple. I cannot rely on her. And that does not make you lazy. It does not make you weak. It just makes your nervous system accurate. Think about something small and common. You stand in front of the mirror and make a decision. Or you tell yourself that you're going to start going to the gym, or take better care of your body, or change how you eat. And maybe that motivation is a little harsh. You criticize yourself, or you promise you'll do better tomorrow. But then tomorrow comes, and you're tired, and you hit snooze, and you say, I'll start next week, or I'll start when things start to calm down. And then nothing changes. Your nervous system isn't judging you for that. It is just logging data. And it's tallying. She makes promises when she's uncomfortable with herself, and then she doesn't keep them when it's hard. So your nervous system just stops expecting follow-through. And when your body doesn't expect you to show up for yourself, it won't trust you to lead it into uncertainty or risk later. The second reason is ignoring your own body signals. Every time that you push past exhaustion, or override discomfort, or stay in a situation that doesn't feel right because it's easier than just saying no, your body learns something else. My needs don't matter here. And this is especially common for women who learned early that attunement to others, taking care of them, was more important than attunement or taking care of yourself. So you learned how to read the room, you learned how to accommodate, you learned how to anticipate other people's needs, and somewhere along the way you stopped listening inward to your own intuition. So when your body says, I'm tired, you tell it, just keep going. When your gut says, this doesn't feel safe, you explain it away. When your intuition whispers, I really don't want this, you override it to keep the peace. And again, your nervous system is not shaming you for this. It's just starting to adapt. It learns that survival comes from ignoring all of your internal cues, and it prioritizes external harmony. And that trust erodes not because you're doing something wrong intentionally, but because you're choosing survival or love or whatever it is, connection over self-attunement. The third thing is broken inner promises. And these are the quiet ones, the promises that nobody else hears. You don't speak them out into existence. Sometimes they sound like, I'll take care of myself after I'm so busy, right? Or this is the last time I'm going to stay late at work, or the last time I'm going to overextend myself. Or tomorrow I'll rest. Next week I'll set the boundaries. Next week I'll go to the gym. And then tomorrow comes or next week comes and you don't do it. And your nervous system doesn't get angry about that. It doesn't criticize you. It just simply adjusts its expectations. It says, okay, I won't count on her being consistent. I won't expect safety from her leadership. And when your body doesn't expect consistency, it stays guarded. It hesitates. It second guesses. Not because it doesn't want to grow, but because it hasn't been shown that growth will be handled with care. And finally, fourth, is trauma responses. And this is the piece that a lot of women entirely miss. If your past taught you that listening to yourself led to punishment or rejection or conflict or abandonment, your body learned that self-trust was dangerous, that speaking up has consequences, that following your instincts could cost you connection or safety. So even when your present life is safer, your body still remembers. And it hesitates, not because you're stuck, but because it's trying to protect you, that familiarity, the only way that it knows how. It's saying, last time we trusted ourselves, it hurt. So let's slow this down. And that hesitation is not a failure. It's intelligence that's shaped by past experiences. And the most important thing to understand here is this. Your nervous system isn't withholding trust to punish you. It is just waiting for proof from you. So this is the part that actually really changes things. It's where self-trust stops being an idea and starts becoming something that your body can feel. Like we've talked about in the past episodes, self-trust is not built through grand declarations of us saying things, right? It's not built by standing in front of the mirror and promising yourself a whole new life, right? It is not built by saying, this week I become super disciplined. I'm never eating cookies again. Or I'm going to fix everything starting on Monday. Your nervous system doesn't trust these big promises. It trusts evidence. And evidence comes from these small, boring, repeated acts of integrity with yourself. Self-trust is built somatically through follow-through that your body can register. So it looks like choosing one simple thing and doing it consistently. Not because it's something impressive, or not that anyone else is going to see it and be like, oh, wow, look at you. But because your body needs to know that you mean what you're saying. So for example, you decide that every morning when you wake up, you're going to drink a full glass of water. That's it. There is no pressure. It is just one thing. And then you do it again tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day. And each time, your nervous system is quietly taking notes. Okay, she is showing up. She follows through. Well, I can rely on her. And that is how trust starts to form. And this is why that new life starts on Monday approach usually backfires. Because you try to change everything at once, like a ton of things, and your body perceives that as a threat, not growth. Too much change feels too fast or unsafe. And so your nervous system resists or freezes or shuts down entirely. These micro movements are how trust grows. So drink the water when you say you would. Go to bed without your phone like you say you would. Take a short walk. Pause before responding. Do the thing you promise yourself to do, even when no one else is keeping the score. This is not about performing. This is a relationship between you and your body. And every promise that you keep with yourself sends a message. She means what she says. Another way self-trust is rebuilt is by slowing down your decisions. Instead of saying yes out of reflex, instead of agreeing to avoid discomfort, instead of reacting before you've already checked in, you pause and you breathe. And you ask yourself quietly, is this a yes for me? And then you let yourself choose. Even when that choice is inconvenient, even when it creates mild discomfort. Maybe it looks like choosing water instead of wine, not because wine is bad, but because you know that your body needs hydration and rest more than the temporary relief that wine gives you. Maybe it's saying no to plans that you don't really have capacity for, or maybe it's letting yourself leave early from a party without explaining. And these moments matter. They're not small to your nervous system, they are proof. Self-trust also requires letting your body catch up. If you're always moving or deciding or fixing, producing or performing, your body never gets a chance to feel safe. Safety requires stillness and integration and these pauses that allow your system to settle and feel comfortable. And this is why regulation before action matters so much. So learning how to ground yourself, taking a few simple breaths, and letting your nervous system come out of that urgency before you respond. A regulated body makes clearer and cleaner decisions than a rushed one ever will. And this part is important. Intuition does not speak clearly in a dysregulated body. When you're in fight or flight, everything always feels urgent. Everything feels threatening or confusing. Your body is just trying to survive instead of guide you. So safety is that bridge between knowing and trusting. The safer your body feels with you, the easier it becomes to hear your inner knowing, not as panic or fear, but as this quiet clarity, some kind of direction or a grounded sense of this feels right, this doesn't. So here's your toolbox for this week. Instead of asking yourself, what is the right decision or what should I do? Ask yourself this. What is one small choice I can make here, right now, that shows my body I am paying attention? It doesn't have to be an impressive choice, not a peacekeeping one either. The choice that avoids disappointment or disapproval, but the one that communicates care and consistency and safety inside of your body. So to close today, I want to remind you of this. Self-trust isn't something that you just magically unlock. It's something that you rebuild over time. And if your nervous system doesn't trust you quite yet, that is not a failure. It just means that you're learning how to start showing up differently. One small promise, one regulated moment, one aligned choice at a time. Next week, we'll talk about the final layer of this self-trust work. What happens when self-trust begins to form, and why so many women wind up sabotaging it right before it stabilizes. And if you want to do this work together, I would love to invite you into our women's circle. We meet every second and fourth Wednesday night. And this month, we're focused entirely on self-trust, on habits, conversations, and real-life practices that help you build it gently and sustainably. Until next time, keep showing up, keep growing, and remember, you were never meant to dim your light. Thanks for tuning in and being here, for healing out loud, and for walking this path beside me. If this episode cracked something open or helped you remember a part of yourself, pass it on and share it with someone you love. For more support, free resources, or the next steps to your journey, head over to my website, myhealingisyourhealing.com. And if you loved today's conversation, subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Your words help this space grow and help more women find their way home to themselves. If I was your muse today, then my healing is your healing. Until next time.